This is Dean Homiuni, president and founder of 3D Action Video Inc. Everybody asks us, what's our new flipbook line? So let's get started and we'll explain what it is and what we tried to accomplish. And we think we did a fantastic job and some of the parties that we're working with to bring you these great products. First, the flipbook line, that they're basically electronic guides that play on a computer, a Mac, Google Pad, and also an iPad. You can also look at them on a cell phone, but there is some issues with the cell phone because the screen is so small. Typically, you want a larger screen to be able to look at these items. The flipbooks go over major scuba diving spots. If you come to our website, and we're at the homepage, and we have Productos, and that's our Spanish product line, we have a tab here called Products, and you just come into Products and you click on Flipbooks and Movies. And our products are a series of flip books. We have 11 done right now. We'll have 21 done by June of 2015. We have the editorial Veros product lines, which are really excellent artwork with hyperlinks similar to the flip books and also video. But they mostly go over topside activities. We have a consolidated one. We have a Mexican Caribbean, Cenotes, Cozumel, Tulum, and Coba, and Riviera Maya. And then we have what's called our movie flip book combo. So that's where you get a movie and you also get a flip book. And we felt that brought great value. We only charge $5 more extra for the movie on top of the normal price of the flip book. Let's take a look at some of our flip books. We have Aruba, Caraco, Bahamas, Bonaire, the Cayman Islands, Riviera Maya, Hawaii, Fiji, French Polynesia, Micronesia, and the Red Sea done right now. We're going to have the Seal Cortez in Southern California done by the end of January, and we'll have Florida and Indonesia, and probably Turks and Caicos done by the end of February. And then we have 6 more that we have coming out in June, which are the Maldives, the amazing Philippines, the Bay Islands of Honduras, Saba, and the Solomon Islands, and Belize, and the Blue Hole. Go into one of the flip books and we'll look at all these really cool features. And we're going to wind up using the Bahamas flip book as an example. And when you click on the picture, the thumbnail, it brings you to this intermediate page where you have the cover of the flip book, and then we list bullet points of what we cover in here. And we also talk about some of the dive operations and give a preview of the Franco Maps cards, which are included as part of the flip book. So because we wanted to create a brand, we're using Franco Maps cards across the entire product line to create a similar look and feel, so that when you go into a second or third flip book, you'll have absolutely no learning curve. And all you do is you just click on this picture and it's going to wind up bringing you into the Bahamas flip book. Flip books are basically electronic books, but we can do a lot more with them. So we can change them, we can add to them. We don't have manufacturing or delivery costs. As we wind up getting suggestions of additional information on what we want, we can slot that into a flip book and be able to upload it to our server, and then everybody who has access to the flip books is able to get to that new information. First thing is we have a little down arrow here, and this points, and we have these symbols here. You can download the flip book, and this is especially important if you're going to be on a plane or you're in an area where you have a bad internet connection. You want to make sure you download this flip book to your computer before you leave, because you can look at stuff while you're on the plane even though you don't have an internet connection, and you're in some place like Chetumal that I was at last summer on my way through to the ruins in southern Mexico and Belize and Guatemala. There was no internet connection down there, so I downloaded these, and at least I was able to get to the maps and all the information included. We have another up arrow which points here, and this gives you little mini thumbnail views of the different pages in the flip book. And if you just come here and you hover over a page, you're going to notice right here it gives you what the page numbers are. You can click through 5 or 6 of them at a time. You can click on this double arrow that'll take you all the way to the end, or you can click the double arrow that'll take you all the way back to the beginning. And that's some of the navigation items which are in the flip books. But let's go back to the beginning and we'll kind of start. We're going to go over what the symbols are that are part of the flip books. You have this little arrow that points to the right. You notice if you click on it, it flips just like a book. And because we're now looking at a left and right side, you have a left arrow that appears on the side that you can flip back to the opposite direction. Let's go over and talk about what we decided to do with these. Flipbooks are really a combination of multiple pieces of IP, because we have hyperlinking in there to external sources. We have text. We have hundreds of pictures. An example of the Bahama Flipbook that we're looking at right now is 360 pages, has over 1,100 pictures, over 69 pieces of video, which provide over 1,000 minutes of video, more than 14 hours. And we also have hyperlinking to external sources. And we felt it was very important that we allow the person who gets these flip books to learn they want to learn. Some people may just want to look at the pictures. Other people may want to look at some of the videos or all the videos. Other people may want to wind up reading the text. And yet other people may want to wind up exploring what we're talking about in much more detail. And that's where we came up with the idea of the hyperlinking. So all these words that you see that are highlighted in blue, those all hyperlink. If you click on them, that's going to take you to Wikipedia, and you can read about this subject in detail. An example that we hyperlink the word Cuba, and we have hundreds of hyperlinks in these flip books. And what that means is not only do you have access to more information on that particular word, but you have access to all this additional resource material which is in these subjects. And that's one of the things I wanted to do with the flip books, was that I didn't want me, who was the author, to control how you learn. So an example is we have the word Hispaniola. Once again, we'll click on that, and that brings up about Hispaniola, and you can decide to read about all this stuff or not read about it. It's your choice, how you want to learn and how you want to explore. That's what these hyperlinks are. Now, these little symbols that we have here that have a camcorder around them, that means that that plays a piece of video. And within an example of Bahamas Flipbook, we have 69 pieces of video over 1,000 minutes. I'm going to talk about why we did this and why we have so much video in a little while. We have another symbol here, which is a link. It's kind of like a chain link. That's our IPTV stations, and we have 5 different internet protocol TV stations that we pick one to wind up putting into the Flipbook, and that's just general stuff that we run for our partners we work with, our various people that have resorts. It's just a looping tidbits of different information about this particular place that you're going to go scuba diving to. Let's talk about why I really decided to make these flip books, and I'll tell you what I went through when I was making a decision about where I was going to go and film. I would start out by going around and looking at multiple websites. So I start cruising around the internet. Well, the truth is the internet has just issued its 1 billionth URL. And I was wasting 20, 30 hours of my time going around to all these different dive operations, and it became extremely problematic for locations such as Fiji, Hawaii, the Bahamas Islands, which has got 10 islands, and also French Polynesia, which we actually talk about 12 different major locations to scuba dive in. It became really problematic because I was not able to go and really find information about the different dive sites accumulated the way I wanted it. And I wanted the information accumulated based on the type of shark dives or wall dives and also the wrecks. And I was having a real problem finding the information. And then all the time before I'd go on a trip or make a decision where I was going to film, I'd go to YouTube and start going through videos, and 99% of the stuff out there is a bunch of junk. So I'm sitting there listening to a bunch of guys filming themselves with a GoPro with rap music on it. I wasn't interested in shaky film that wasn't colorized. I wanted to try to get really good video that would really give me the essence and idea of what that scuba diving location was before I decide to pull the trigger, you know, blow $3,000 or $4,000 to go there, and all of a sudden I'm not happy with the scuba diving. The other problem that I encountered is I would go to dive sites, and like I said, I never really had the information of what were really the best dives, really describing them, and sometimes a table of what the best dives are. And I'd go out, and these dive operators wind up taking me to locations which aren't the pristine locations because they don't want to burn the gas to get there. And that's why we created the flip books, to take all that waste of time away. On top of that, we wanted to do something that would be even a lot cooler. And what I did was I went out and I cut a deal with Franco Maps for everybody, where we wind up including an electronic version of Franco Maps or multiple Franco Maps, and also their shark and pelagic ID cards as part of the flip book. So an example is the Bahamas flip book. We have 12 Franco Map cards in here. I mean, that stuff would be almost $100 if you wanted to buy them separately. And then, of course, you can think about now you have 12 cards, you got to carry them around. Your dive shop probably wasn't carrying the cards because they don't want to carry the inventory. And that's one of the things we did for the dive shops was try to create a new product line that would encompass multiple Franco Maps cards for them to be able to sell and provide a better service for their customers. Then the Flipbook, now you can click on this page and it zooms up and you can move your mouse around and read these cards. You can even zoom in on them and you just click on it again and it zooms it back down back to the original size of the page. So you'll notice on the Bahamas we have an overall map that gives all the islands, and the way I worked this particular Flipbook was that I start at the north and I go to the south. So the first island we're going to see is Grand Bahamas, and if we wind up flipping through the page, now we got the Grand Bahamas map. We're providing a great value here for you to see the dive sites, but one of the drawbacks on the Franco's Maps cards is that they give the dive sites, but they gave no description of what really goes on at those dive sites. And we came in and actually described every one of those dive sites for everybody using the Flipbooks. And go farther down the Flipbook, and now we have the one on the Great Abacos Island, and I can zoom in on it and be able to see all the information here. We also have the Franco's Maps Fish ID cards also included in here. Those are some of the advantages of using the Flipbook and be able to flip through it and navigate through it and what our ideas was. And I really encourage everybody to take a look at these. We do give a free 4-minute preview on the Flipbooks for you to see really the tremendous quality we did, including if we're flipping through here that you can see the number of pictures that we included. So like I said, on the Bahamas Flipbook, we have over 1,100 pictures in this thing. I mean, it's just fantastic, including these montages that we include of multiple pictures. And once again, you can zoom in on these because I want everybody to really get a good grip on these places that you're going to scuba dive, how fantastic and wonderful they really are. One of the other things we did was what's called our Explore the Sea module, and I'm going to go through that real quick. Franco Maps card, they have this fish ID card, and I'd go scuba diving with my daughter, and she'd come up when she was younger, when she first started scuba diving, go, Daddy, I saw this fish, it's yellow and purple. We didn't know what it was, so we went and got a Franco Maps fish ID card. That would allow us to identify the fish, but it didn't tell us anything about the fish or the life form. So we decided to create this Explore the Sea module that we have over 300 different life forms in here. So an example, I'll come to the branching face sponge and I click on it, it takes you to that Wikipedia page about that particular sponge. I'll click on the green sponge and you can have your kid or child or you learn all about these different life forms which are underneath the ocean, where they live, how big they get, and we're always expanding these, by the way. You can flip through, we have the Atlantic fish, and we have it broken down by these major categories. We have some things on sharks. We have the Indo-Pacific sea life, where once again that we give you lots of different sea critters for you to taking a look at. We also wind up including the Franco Maps particular shark and ray card as part of each Flipbook. So in Fiji we have the Fiji shark and ray card. In Hawaii we have the Hawaii shark and ray card. And we linked all these also back to Wikipedia to make it really easy and convenient for everybody. That's kind of our Flipbooks and what they do. I also came along and decided to do some really cool things for everybody, where under the shark card, I list within the Bahamas Flipbook and the other Flipbooks all the different shark dives broken down by island in alphabetical order, so you can see the big pelagic and where the best shark dives are as part of the Bahamas. We also did the same thing for the wall dives to make it easy. So once again, I came here and I did it by island, and I give you the particular dive site's name. So if you want to go to the Bahamas and go wall diving, you can go to all these islands and go wall diving. And we've taken all the guesswork out of this for you. And then we also, so you can see all the wall dives we're listing here along with these beautiful pictures of what these Flipbooks do. We also talk about a little bit in the Bahamas about the blue holes, and we give you the top 5 blue holes, where to go. And then we have about the wrecks, and we give you lots of pictures on wrecks of what's an example in the Bahama. But we also created a chart, once again, sorted by location, by island, of where all the wrecks are in a short description. And of course, we also describe all these dives in detail. You can go on and to see what we've done here. We think that these things are just an incredible value, and they're going to save you a tremendous amount of time. You're not going to waste 100 hours on the internet trying to jot down notes. You have something that's going to work on your iPad and your Google Pad and your computer and your Mac when you go on your vacation, and these things just come in really handy. They're all touch enabled too, by the way. If you have a Google Pad or an iPad or a touchscreen, the PC computer, you don't even need a mouse. I mean, you can touch on this stuff the way it's supposed to be. You all enjoyed this discussion. I encourage all of you to go back to our page and just start cruising through some of these flip books. They're really cool. They're such a time saver, and they're such a great value with those Franco Mats cards in there. I really decided to sit down and make these of the first 11 we did. That we have almost 3,400 pages, over 8,000 pictures, over 500 pieces of video, over 10,000 minutes of video is within the first 11 flip books, and I'm working feverishly to get this second set out, and we're going to have, I think, 4 more done by the end of February, and we'll be motoring on these because we want to make sure that we bring you guys that fantastic value that you want.